There is a button that slashes prices of items in online stores right.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Well, yesterday we had a surprising release, but one that we kind of saw coming. However, the end product is pretty awesome, and it also brings up the question as to what could be next for this franchise. We'll go over that here today. Also, we are going to be talking about Metroid Prime 4, as there's a new report that's been circulating that I wanted to weigh in on, and we'll also be talking about Nintendo and their plans to upgrade, plans that they already made, but also shows how serious they're going to be when it comes to game development for next generation. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button, helps out a ton. And if new here to the Spawnwave channel, make sure you subscribe down below. And we're going to start today with Atlas Fallen. Now, this game is currently released and reviews went live the other day. And this is a game we'd kind of been keeping an eye on, as they hadn't really shown off gameplay necessarily on the lead up to its release. And then finally they showed snippets, and now we have the game with its reviews, and you can see this posted up over on Metacritic. Currently sitting at a 65. That's on the PlayStation 5 that has the most reviews at 39. And, well, the split, 8 positive, 29 mixed, and 2 negative. The highest review, I believe, is from Player 2 with an 83. And then Gaming Nexus with a 75. Gaming Nexus says that Atlas Fallen might not make any Game of the Year list, but its inventive, refreshing combat is worth checking out. On the flip side, Games Hub gives it a 40, saying a moment like that doesn't exist for games combat, and when lackluster combat makes up the bulk of Atlas Fallen's loop, it makes it that much harder to work up the motivation to continue exploring everything else the world has to offer. So yeah, not the best reviews for Atlas Fallen. Also, it comes at a time where there's a lot of focus currently on Baldur's Gate 3. So this might be a title that I check out down the road when it's fallen in price a bit, just to kind of add to the collection and see exactly what Atlas Fallen had in store for us, just maybe at like the $20 price tag. Also, over the weekend with EVO, we did have a new trailer for Fatal Fury, and this is a game that got people very, very excited because it's been a long time since we had a Fatal Fury game. That was, what, Mark of the Wolves? This is back at the 99, 2000 or so. I remember that game on the Dreamcast specifically, but here's the new trailer that was posted up, and visually, I do like what they're going for here. This is Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. I think it looks very clean, and obviously it's going to work into being a very smooth playing fighting game, but unfortunately we still don't have any kind of release date, release window. Don't have any kind of platforms. I assume it's going to go to as many platforms as possible, but it still feels like we're a ways off from this game coming out, or even this game having a full reveal, as this is kind of like snippets of in-game visuals, I think, just to give us an idea as to the direction for the graphics in-game. But yeah, I'm excited to see more about Fatal Fury, and I'm not even a really big fighting game person. I just have a lot of fond memories of the series from back in the day. Oh, and we did get a new update for the PlayStation 5 with Sony releasing it, along with the patch notes for it, which we can see here, and this is for update 23.01-07.61.00.00. It rolls right off the tongue. This system software update improves system performance. That's about it. Not much else here, and I think they're just laying the groundwork for a larger update that's coming down the road. This one, though, coming in at 1.15 gigabytes. Now, people are looking towards Dolby Atmos support being added, as well as other accessibility options, and I feel like we're just seeing them, again, laying the groundwork for that eventual update down the road. But you would need this to play online, so I guess go ahead and get your PS5 updated. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with Metroid Prime 4, because there is an incredible amount of anticipation for this game as we approach what we assume to be its grand re-reveal. Although we never really have it revealed. We had a logo, right? It's kind of animated, wasn't it? We haven't seen the game itself, though. We don't know the direction that Retro is taking this title in, and there are even questions around how it's going to perform on the current Switch as well. It's a bit older now than it was when it first got revealed in 2017. The Switch is definitely getting pushed a bit by current games that are coming out on it, even from Nintendo's top talent with something like Tears of the Kingdom. Well, interestingly enough, on Xbox Era podcast, there were new details that were put out there from Nick over on the podcast, and this we can see over on Gaming Bolt, who did transcribe some of the
Round one. Ready, go! Knockout. Round two. Ready, go! Burning hammer! Knockout! Round three. Ready, go! Knockout! Round four. Ready, go! Knockout!
this, saying in addition to the game looking visually unbelievable, said source also claims that Metroid Prime 4 will also feature big, massive areas. Okay, Baker says that though he doesn't believe the game is going to be open world, it will have significantly larger areas than previous titles in the series. Apparently the person or the source that had this information had seen the game was comparing it to Halo Infinite, specifically that it reminded them of how big and open the environment was, not necessarily that it's open world. Really trying to figure this out, exactly what they're getting at. I feel like they're more or less saying there's just a lot of area to cover in some of these zones that you go to in Metroid Prime 4. And I don't necessarily think that Metroid Prime 4 has to be an open world. To me, not every game in general has to be an open world style game, and we just got one that was very, very large in Tears of the Kingdom. And when I think of Metroid Prime, I more or less think of that, the Metroidvania setup, but essentially going from point to point and unlocking new areas and sure, backtracking, but also getting abilities that will enable you to get further in the game, and kind of trying to put that into an open world can be a little more difficult when you can't necessarily control the flow of the character. In this instance, though, if you consider Metroid Prime Remastered, that just came out earlier this year, there are certain areas you go into and all of a sudden there's no ceiling or anything. You're outside and you can look around and it feels much larger than some of those corridors that you're walking around in, whether it's for puzzles or exploration or whatnot there. So that's sort of what I'm thinking is we're going to have areas in Metroid Prime 4 that are just massive, and you look around, it feels very, very open and short, comparable somewhat to Halo Infinite, but not on the scale of, in Halo Infinite, you can get in a Warthog and drive from one end of the map to the other uninterrupted. As for the part about Metroid Prime 4 looking visually unbelievable, yeah, I would say that's probably correct, especially if you look at Metroid Prime Remastered, there are people who are playing through that, and I see it online, they said this is the best I've seen in terms of visuals on the Switch, and they put it up there alongside of what I think is the best looking game still on the platform, and that's Luigi's Mansion 3. Although Metroid Prime Remastered does run at 60 frames per second along with those really good looking visuals. So that's still kind of the question I have for Retro when it comes to Metroid Prime 4. If they can still blow us away with the graphics while maintaining 60 frames per second, because I do think that's important for a first-person shooter adventure game in the Metroid Prime series. And I will say, based on what they did with Metroid Prime Remastered, I have a lot of confidence that Retro will pull it off. And I'm also hoping that, let's say this game doesn't come out till like second half of 2024, that they're also working maybe for a patch so that this ends up being a cross-gen game and can take advantage of Nintendo's next generation device that should be a good bit more powerful, we'll say, than the current Switch. Because there's one thing Retro's really good at, it's getting a lot out of any hardware they work on. So think about them being there at launch ready to go with Metroid Prime 4 on the next system. Next up, let's talk about a surprise drop yesterday, although we had kind of discussed this previously when it went up on the ratings boards, and that's Quake 2 Remastered. And this is exciting stuff because there's a lot that went into this game, and MVG is in the credits. So hey, shout out to Modern Vintage Gamer there, helping to get Quake 2 out the door and ready for release to go alongside of QuakeCon. Now, there is a full trailer that is out. You can see that here. And this game did drop immediately into Game Pass. So go check it out there. If you're already subscribed, you can pick up Quake 2 and try it out, whether it's for the first time or maybe you're reliving the old days from 1997. But what's interesting here is I mentioned a lot of work that went into it. Well, it has high definition widescreen.
Round 4. Ready, go!
Screen support, enhanced models, improved enemy animations and gore, enhanced cinematics, anti-aliasing, depth of field, up to 4K 120 FPS support, and there's also additional content. So it has the original mission packs, The Reckoning and Ground Zero, and an all-new expansion called Call of the Machine. And this has 28 campaign levels, a new multiplayer deathmatch map, and a free version of Quake 2 64. By the way, this is all $10, or again, you can just grab it on Game Pass. The other thing that I thought was pretty interesting, it has crossplay, which is great, so you can go online, play against other people on all the different platforms, which obviously includes PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, PS4, the Switch. But if you have an Xbox Series S,
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go! Yes! Knockout!
Wrestling is the ultimate sport.
And X, it supports 8-player local split-screen co-op, and I saw MVG post a screenshot of it. Looks absolutely ridiculous to have that many people on one screen, But yeah, you can do it. Oh, and if you're someone who wants to get it physically, go check out Limited Run Games, as they did reveal that they have a special edition of Quake 2 that contains a steelbook, poster, briefing documents, set of dog tags, a throwback 2-piece collector's box, and then they have like an Ultimate Strong edition as well. So there's a lot going on over there if you wanted to have it physically.
To move and manage institutional digital assets securely, you need more than a...
But now I'm kind of thinking, okay, we had Quake 1 get its remastered, Quake 2 remaster. Does that mean that Quake 3 is coming up next? Because that would be an incredibly hype announcement for them to say, yeah, Quake 3 Arena coming back, crossplay, all these different things, new content. Because if you remember back in the day, I remember on the Dreamcast specifically, the online for that was incredible. And I think it'd be great to bring it back to current consoles with crossplay, 4K support, 120 FPS. There's a lot of fun stuff they could do there. And it kind of feels like that would be the trend, right? But I guess for now, Quake 2 is out there. Again, you can pick it up on Game Pass or for $10. And yes, highly recommend checking this one out. And now I'm hoping that the next step is Quake 3. But this is exciting stuff. Either way, go check it out. Again, Game Pass or $10 in other marketplaces. Next up, let's talk about the Famitsu sales charts. These, of course, give us a look at how different games are selling week to week in Japan, as well as the different game consoles. So let's start here with the top 10 for games, with Pikmin 4 still holding strong at the top, only a 32% drop off, coming in at 78,000 units. And based on the number 2 slot being Tears of the Kingdom at 14,600, tells me Pikmin 4 is pretty much poised to stay at the top of this list for a little while now. Then we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 3, because why not? Natsumon at 4, Minecraft at 5, Splatoon 3, Nintendo Switch Sports, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Mario Party Superstars, and then Pokemon Scarlet and Violet rounding out the top 10. Unfortunately, it does look like Final Fantasy 16 has fallen out of the top 10, which Square said they have plans to try to push Final Fantasy 16 more and more as they go along, whether that's through discounting the game or having new content or something being added in. But that's just kind of where we are with Final Fantasy now. It's clearly become more popular in the West than it has become in Japan. Moving over to the hardware, the Switch is at the top, 93,210 systems. I mean, what do we need the next system for with Nintendo? They keep selling nearly 100,000 units in Japan. Like this is a consistent thing for them, by the way, which is just incredible stuff. It is going to run down the DS, it looks like, in Japan pretty quickly at this rate. Then we have the PS5 below that, 50,358 systems. The Xbox Series at 3,276. I know they've been doing more and more bundle deals and different things in Japan, for example, with Diablo 4. So maybe that's helping to push Xbox Series systems a bit more in the region. The PS4, 789. And then look at this. Okay, the 3DS, 56 of these have sold. If any of you are in Japan, I need to know, are there just 3DS systems out on store shelves and people are walking around buying? Because you can't find one like in the US or anything when it comes to new systems. So I'm curious how common it is to just come across a 3DS brand new in the box there in Japan. But the big takeaway and story from these sales charts has to be Pikmin 4. It's done very, very well for Nintendo so far, especially in Japan where we see the numbers. And that tells me that most likely we are seeing probably similar success in other regions, and this most likely, I think it's pretty obvious, will go on to become the best-selling Pikmin game in the franchise easily. So we'll hear more about the actual full sales numbers worldwide from Nintendo when they're ready to talk about that a bit more with the investors following this current fiscal.
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go!
Fiscal quarter, which means it'll be like first week of November or so. So we'll have a little while to wait, but something tells me when they do give us the number for Pikmin 4, should be pretty impressive. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about Nintendo's plans to expand and how they've actually been delayed because they want to make the building bigger. Yeah, we can see this posted up by Nintendo Life as they are sorting the K. And if we remember, last year, Nintendo did announce that they were going to have a larger development building that they were going to create after buying land that's next to its Kyoto, Japan headquarters. Originally, this was going to be 12 stories tall, and they were going to complete it by 2027 and have a floor area of 38,000 square meters. But now they're upgrading to more than 13 floors. And according to them, it's to cater to a long-term increase in development personnel. This will also push their plans out a little more, 2028 or later, which, if you consider the fact that we think their next generation system would launch maybe holiday 2024, 2028 or so, that would be right in the middle of that generation when, yeah, they're probably going to be all hands on deck and pushing heavily for big time games coming out. And if you think about how much more complex games are getting as we go forward, yeah, they probably need more and more buildings to house the different developers to create these games, especially if they're making this big push to 4K as we see these games become more complex just from mechanics. I mean, look at Tears of the Kingdom. The amount of effort that went into make sure that game just wouldn't break, the physics and all the different ways you can manipulate the world around you. And then on top of that, you're also thinking about 4K and all the texture work and different things that go into it for the small details. Yeah, it's just going to continue to get harder and harder to make these games. In that case, yeah, you got to bring in more and more developers and have apparently 13 story plus buildings ready to go. So this is something that's still a ways off, 2028 or later, but I'm sure we'll be getting updates from Nintendo as we go forward with investors around how the building is going or if they have to upgrade it again. And before we go to the comment of the day, we're taking a look at the poll that I posted up yesterday, where I asked, have you played Quake 3 before? Yeah, 74% say no, 26% say yes. Wow, there are many people out there who have not experienced the greatness that is Quake 3 multiplayer online. So seems like there is quite a bit of opportunity out there through word of mouth. You know, Quake 3 coming back. It probably not being a super expensive game. We see these Quake titles coming out at $10 a piece. Maybe Quake 3 because there would be a bit more going into it. Maybe that'd be 15, but that's still like impulse buy territory. And I assume would go into Game Pass day one. Seems like that would be an awesome reveal, and it'd be a really, really exciting time online to have that come back to all these different platforms, crossplay, the whole thing. So I'm hoping that is an eventual reality, but I guess we'll look towards the next QuakeCon to see if we get ratings popping up for Quake 3 Arena. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day, as you're seeing here. This is from Mega, who says, John gets his excuse for not playing Pokemon TCG shot down by a comment. So what does he do? Double down the power creep of the game. Bro, just say you don't want to play with trading cards and move on. I don't want to play with trading cards. I've seen the rabbit hole that people go down with these cards where they have totes and totes of these common cards, and they're just trying to pull this one rare card, and there's all these booster boxes coming through and all the money that goes thrown in. I mean, I talk about GameCube collecting being expensive. The Pokemon trading card game, collecting for that, whole other world, really. And half the time I talk to people who are buying these cards, they're not even using them to play the game. They just want to collect them. That's fine. But Yeah, I'm good. I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole. I'll stick to my GameCube collecting and save my money. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit that like button. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about here today. Was the talk around Metroid Prime 4. What are your expectations for this game as we hopefully get closer and closer to a re-reveal with this thing, maybe at the next Nintendo Direct or to kick off 2024. And then also, what about Quake 2 getting this awesome remaster, the Shadow Drop? Did you check it out? And what are your thoughts on it? Thanks, guys, for watching. Have a great weekend. I'll see you back here Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time for Newswave.
Hey guys, Radical Reggie and Metal Jesus, of course, and we're back at you with another awesome pickups video, man. Are you excited, man?
Dude, I'm pumped, man.
Yeah, I'm ready to go, man. Hey, fist bump. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
A lot of exciting stuff that we want to show you guys. I'm so pumped up. Man, I've been like just eager to do this video with you, man, because I got a lot of cool pickups that I want to show you, man. I think you're going to be impressed with it.
Dude, I have a special edition console in this that I've been trying to find for years. I finally got it. I'm so excited. So, we're going to show it.
Let's get into it.
Let's take a look. All right, dude, who goes first?
You.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go big here right off the bat. So, Cannon Dancer Osman.
Yes. The unofficial Strider Part 2.
Yes, so this is by Strictly Limited Games, and they put out an amazing physical version of this. So,
Yeah.
So it's my understanding that this game, in its physical form, like in the arcades, is one of the most collectible, hard to find arcades ever.
I've never even seen it, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I saw a lot of arcades back in the day, and this is definitely one I didn't see, so I can see that how rare it was. It came out in like 1996, I think, when arcades were kind of like phasing out, at least probably for these type of games, I would say.
Yeah.
Arcades were more focused on like more of a Dance Revolution type or first fighting game type, stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, and so they're putting out, I believe this is the first time it's been released physically for a modern system ever. And so Strictly Limited just went all out with this. It's got like a diorama in there.
Dude, there's so much stuff about calendar, freaking like the soundtrack. They went all out, man.
Round one. Ready, go! Excellent! Round two. Ready, go! Knockout! Round three. Ready, go! Knockout!
They went all out. It's
the
like
perfect game to do it for.
Yeah, it's cool actually that, again, this is a game where I think most people like, what? I've never really heard of that before, or maybe it's like mythical or something like that.
Right.
But it's for the collectors, man.
Yeah, and the game is pretty much like it plays like the original Strider game, and you could pretty much tell, this is a Strider game when you play it. The same feel for it. It would have been nice to see if they had got the rights for Strider, and this would have been Strider 2. But still, the game is awesome on its own. I mean, they
beautiful.
It's a beautiful looking game.
Huge sprites on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy bosses. Crazy story. I mean, I know I go into story a lot, but this story is insane. But it's a really it's like, I mean, arcades are like arcade games. They're pretty much like a fine art, and getting them as a physical release is just fantastic. So
yeah, I don't think anybody saw this coming, and so it's cool to have it on a physical, and especially this big box packed full of stuff in there. So, yeah, very cool. So.
Right on, man. Okay.
Yep.
I gotta start out big as well, man. But,
okay. I haven't seen. Neither of us have seen what each other are bringing. So
this is the Tales of Destiny Director's Cut Collector's Edition for PS2.
Huh. Okay. Is this a Japanese release or something?
No, it is a custom release.
Oh, okay.
By Project Retro Games. They're making. I think they're making 30 of those, and I got one, man. And I took the system out of the box because it's kind of tough to get out of there sometimes. But this is the system itself, brother. So this system plays modded games pretty much. So there's a lot of English translated games that are coming out. And he's putting them in a physical format. So this system...
Dude, a custom memory card.
He made a custom memory card for it as well. Controller and all that stuff. And it pretty much, you could play those games on this system. He changed the wiring inside. I forgot what he did exactly. But it plays modded games pretty much. So you can put a game in there, it plays them, which is great. Because a lot of people don't want to do with it.
This is beautiful.
With
Look
the
at
e-boot
that.
stuff.
Wow. So you've had a couple of these now where these are kind of like fan-made...
That's the second one.
Okay. Because you did one for
PS1.
That's right. PS1.
That's right. Yeah, Tales of Fantasia. So, yeah, I'm just happy to have that, man.
Wow.
It's freaking awesome. He's making that stuff.
Well, the box looks legit. I thought it was real.
Dude, I know he goes all out, man. He's very dedicated to making like stuff that's really authentic to what originally would have came out if companies had made it.
Even on the back.
Even on the back, yes. The numbering, yes. He's serious business, man. So yeah. Pumped up to have that. So, and it's nice to play a lot of these games that weren't English translated in English now, because a lot of modders are making fan translations are coming out, and he's putting them in physical format, put it in your system on your television. Fantastic. So,
if the game publisher won't do it, then fans will.
That's right. That's how. That's right. Exactly.
All right. Well, cool. Well, next up for me is I don't know if you've seen this. So Batsugun. Yeah. This is like this is a Saturn tribute version of this. So basically, this is. Batsugun, I believe that's how you say it, is considered the world's first bullet hell shooter.
Really?
So, yeah, it's considered the first. And so this is kind of like a loving tribute to that game. And if you don't know, like, I'm sure most people know what a bullet hell shooter is, but basically it's almost like, it's one of the first times where the bullets just kind of went everywhere. And so, before this, an enemy would shoot at you, and this is where basically, for whatever reason, they were like, "Hey, what would happen if the enemies just fill the screen with bullets and you try to survive?" Right? And so
it's intense action.
It is, and it's not for everybody. The one thing I will say though, what I really like about this version, is that at any time you can go into slow mode, and it doesn't affect it doesn't. I don't believe it affects your score, but. When the screen is full of bullets, you can push in, I believe, on the thumbstick, and suddenly it goes half speed.
Right.
And so you can survive. You don't have to do it, but it's an option. So
this is a good modern release, because this game originally only came out on Saturn.
Yeah,
and it's very expensive. So
yeah, and there's I forget what basically it's like a boosted special edition of the game. It has different versions of it on here. So if you want to play it like the actual arcade, I believe it's an arcade game first.
Right.
Saturn. Yeah, so it's very happy to get
that cover looks awesome. I love how the artist on the cover.
And what do they call these little slips for the Saturn? I don't know what they call that.
I just thought of the name and it slipped my mind.
Yeah, but it's cool that they included that as well in here as a tribute to the Saturn. The Japanese Saturns would have that. So yeah, Batsugun.
Well, I got something very similar to that.
Oh, you do?
I do. I think I have it here somewhere. We actually talked about this game before.
Oh.
This is Akai Katana.
Oh, dude, that's cool. I didn't know this came out in
this. It has, of course, it has the same slip as well.
Yeah.
But you know how I feel about that game. This game is awesome.
Oh yeah, this game. I believe I do have the regular Switch version of this. I think I got it from PlayAsia or something like that. But
my buddy Kyle hooked me up with that, man. He had an extra copy and sent it my way, so I'm really pumped up.
I mean, Cave make some of the best shooters. We've mentioned it before. I mean, they are, in my opinion, they are my favorite shooters.
Yeah.
There's just something about the feel of them. Also, they're usually pretty whimsical.
Right.
You know, they're kind of over the top sometimes, but
Yeah, well, you knew they were special when you played that game, Dudon Patch, and that game is like...
yeah. Also, Death Smiles is really
Death Smiles,
great.
that's another
Yeah,
one. Yep.
they have tons of them. Huh, that's cool. It's like a companion piece to mine. So there you go. Okay. Next up is something a little bit different here. So I was sent this book called Supercade, A Visual History of Video Games Age, basically 1985 to 2001. And essentially what this is, it's a visual history of video games, and as you can see here, it's gorgeous. And you know, the truth is there's a lot of these kind of books already on the market. This one, what I like about this is it's not specific to just consoles. It's arcade games, computer games, consoles, handhelds, it's everything. So it's really cool.
With their design too. Look at this WWF Superstars. Like, that's how I remember the arcade being. Just
Right.
like that.
Yeah, it's really interesting because sometimes they'll use kind of like gameplay footage. Sometimes they'll use some of the side art that would be on an arcade machine. Sometimes they'd use the marketing advertisements for some of the pictures in here.
Yeah.
Beautiful book. I really like this book quite a bit. So I actually read almost all of it.
So I'm still looking at this WWF Superstar, seeing all the old school wrestlers. I used to love Andre the Giant. What an intimidating wrestler.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so this is a really cool if you're looking for like a coffee table book. You know, something.
Definitely.
These are the type of things, honestly, like when we have a party at my house, and you can kind of attest this, like on my bar, I'll have like either a magazine or a book like this on there just for people to kind of flip through, and it always gets looked at, always.
Right on.
So it's pretty cool.
It's cool, man.
Yeah, so I dig this a lot.
Well, my buddy John doesn't like this game, but I love it actually, and this is Wanted Dead. So Wanted Dead is an action, pretty much a crazy action game where you play as these. I want to say they're kind of like a SWAT team type cops, and they're going after like certain villains and everything like that. But the thing about this game is that it really reminds me of a high-end PS3 game. It definitely doesn't push the limits of today's games, but it's very action-oriented, and the action is all over the place. So it's kind of hit or miss with some people. I'm still in the beginning stages of it, but I feel like I got killed a lot in the beginning, but I feel like I'm gonna have to put the game on easy mode. So the game kind of messes with you too. When you play on easy mode, they give you these cat ears.
Oh, really? To go
It's hilarious.
Make fun of you? Huh.
But I just want to kind of get through it and get a feel for it. Then maybe I'll play on normal and get further in the game. But my buddy John tries to talk crap about the game. But John, forget you. This game is awesome. I don't care what you say.
I've never heard of this.
And here's a copy for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when I was
you're gonna give me the PS5 version? You don't want
the PS5 version, yeah.
Okay. Well, because they have the collector's version.
I got the upgrade. PS5,
yeah.
I'm good to go. So try it out, man.
This has a better cover too.
It does. At least that cover, yeah. It's got the characters on the cover and everything. But yeah, try it out later.
Okay.
Let me know what you think, man. So.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Well, okay. Well, then I'm gonna give you a gift.
No.
So, you and I have been using Play Asia for years, and they reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, we love your pickups videos. We want to send you a couple games. Give some to Reggie." And I was like, "Okay,
all right."
So yeah. so I picked a couple that I thought you might be interested in. Okay. First one here. So these are all for you. Smashing the Battle Ghost Soul. Have you heard of this game?
No.
So it's a 3D. Brawler, but you play this kind of sexy lady in a like a mech suit or something like that.
Okay.
It's supposed to be kind of silly and cheesy, and it's not too deep. Here's another one.
Round one. Ready, go! Knockout. Round two. Ready, go! Round 3. Ready, go! Excellent!
The Letter,
Oh, wow.
which is a visual novel. I actually did play and I captured the footage for this. It's pretty interesting, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it does something which I love. It auto progresses the text.
Oh,
if
so you
wanted
see,
to.
right? Okay, good. Ears.
Oh, really? Did you
It's hilarious.
make fun of you? Huh.
But I just want to kind of get through it and like get a feel for it. Then maybe I'll play on normal and get further in the game. But my buddy John tries to talk crap about the game. But John, forget you. This game is awesome. I don't care what you say.
I've never heard of this.
And here's a copy for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when I was
You're gonna give me the PS5 version? You don't want it?
PS5 version, yes.
Okay. Well, because they have the collector's version.
I got the upgrade. PS5,
yeah.
I'm good to go. So try it out, man.
This has a better cover too.
It does. At least that cover, yeah. It's got the characters in the cover and everything. But yeah, try it out later.
Okay.
Let me know what you think, man. So.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Well, okay. Well, then I'm gonna give you a gift.
No.
So. You and I have been using Play Asia for years, and they reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, we love your pickups videos. We want to send you a couple games. Give some to Reggie." And I was like, "Okay,
All right."
So yeah. so I picked a couple that I thought you might be interested in. Okay. First one here. So these are all for you. Smashing the Battle, Ghost Soul. Have you heard of this game?
No.
So it's a 3D. Brawler, but you play this kind of sexy lady in a like a mech suit or something like that.
Okay.
It's supposed to be kind of silly and cheesy, and it's not too deep. Here's another one, The Letter, which is a visual novel. I actually did play and I captured the footage for this. It's pretty interesting, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it does something which I love. It auto progresses the text.
Oh, so you see, right? Okay, good.
Yes. So and you can control the speed of it. So I was actually enjoying that quite a bit.
I like the cover.
And then I picked this one for you because I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
Dude.
Wife Quest.
You know what's funny? I missed out on this.
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go! Ready, go! Knockout!
This one too. which
Oh,
is
really?
what I did. Yeah, they sold out. So
I don't know anything about it. I haven't even opened it yet, but I was like, Reggie's getting wife fest.
Right on, man. Yeah, this is a cool platform. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, there you go.
Awesome. Right on. Thank you, man.
Gift
Appreciate
for
it.
you.
Thank you for Asia as well.
Yeah, it was cool that they did that. So.
Let me go ahead and give this gift to you too. So,
What? Okay.
Project Retro Games, they know that you're a big fan of Phantasmagoria.
Whoa, for the Saturn.
This is the uncut version for Saturn.
What the
And,
hell
yeah,
is
it's like
this?
8 discs, man. So,
Whoa.
it's pretty intense, man. I actually opened it up right there for you because of the plastic was on pretty tight. But yeah.
Holy crap.
Like,
So first of all, this never came out for Saturn. So it was a PC only game.
it came out for Saturn in Japan.
It did.
It did, I believe
I
so.
didn't know
Maybe
that. Oh, okay.
you guys in the comments let
Maybe
me know
you
if
could
I'm
be
right.
right. I have no idea.
But yeah, they English translated it, and there's some uncut scenes in this version
Holy
of the game.
crap.
So,
Dude,
yeah.
this is amazing. I had no idea. This is probably the coolest thing in my
Yeah.
Sierra collection right
He's
now.
working on so many cool projects
Huh.
like that, man. So yeah, he wanted you to have that. So
Wow.
you're a
I
fan
didn't
of it.
realize it came out on Saturn. That is amazing. So
Well, there's quite a few PC games that came out on Saturn in Japan.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Wow. That's really cool. Okay.
on.
Thank you. That's awesome. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Next up for me. Is it?
Yeah, back to pictures.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you're good.
Okay. A game I picked up. I was really excited about. That is Star Wars Jedi Survivor for the PlayStation 5.
Okay.
So this is a sequel. It is a 3D Jedi platforming game. A sequel to a really popular Star Wars game that came out probably like 4 years ago or something like that. Beautiful. You basically play as a Jedi. It's an epic story. Lots of awesome kind of set pieces in it. I played and beat it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I would say though that, and no spoilers, and it'd be interesting to hear from people down in the comments, I did see the twist coming from a mile away in the story. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil
Because
it.
you're an expert, man. And when you're in the lore like this, you kind of get
That's
this, like,
true.
Yeah, intelligence.
That's true.
Like, oh.
Well, especially again, I can't talk too much about it, but sometimes whenever there's a character and you're like, that person's totally bad or what, you know what I mean? It's like, but so, anyways, that said, I really, really enjoyed this game. It's really fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
right on.
it's very much kind of like a Souls-like game where it's all about combat, different stances, blocking, things like that.
It says internet required, so why is that? Is it like do they have to know you're online, or is
That's really interesting. It's a single-player game.
Because that kind of reminds me of Back 4 Blood. Like that game, you could play single player too,
Yeah.
but it required an online connection, which was okay.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't notice that, and it didn't affect my game. Of course, I'm usually always online because I'm home.
Right.
But it's interesting you say that because if I was playing on PC on my Steam Deck and I was on a plane, I might not be able to play it, which is really stupid because it is a single-player game.
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go!
なたにはクンフーが足りないわ。
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go! Knockout!
I have no idea.
Okay.
You're eagle-eyed.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
That stuff.
Looking out for that sort of stuff.
Okay, so this is gonna be a weird one, but Resident Evil on the NES. So
Whoa.
we're taking it back. So you got Resident Evil on NES. A guy reached out to me and said, "Hey Reggie, I know you would probably want one of these, so he made one for me. It was really cool of him." And yeah, it's a Resident Evil game made for the Nintendo, which is shocking to me.
Yeah.
And it even comes in a red cart.
Yeah,
which
that's
is pretty
cool
cool.
looking.
You know. I'm not that far in the game, but the game is kind of like, obviously it's dumbed down from the original games, but you get to play, this version you only get to play as Jill, and most people only pick Jill anyways, because her game plays better, of course, with the items she could carry.
I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I just pick the female character because I know I'm going to be seeing her from behind the whole time. If I'm going to be playing a game and I have to look for 30 hours, I'm going to pick the girl.
Girl, gotcha, man. So yeah, this is a unique release. You know, it's just like I love what people are doing with this type of stuff. You know, and it shows that these old legacy systems will live forever because people will make projects like this happen.
So I'm noticing that lately you've been buying more of these kind of like, they're not demakes, but they're kind of like kind of like fans bringing these games, to. I mean, I guess you've kind of always done that, but I definitely notice you're into it more for sure.
Oh, definitely, yeah. When you kind of like, you've been collecting for years, you got to look out for other stuff that's
kind of interesting stuff,
exactly.
Different stuff.
So yeah, Resident Evil on the NES.
All right, next up for me is another PS5 game. This was one that I didn't expect to come out, but it's by Limited Run, and I picked this one up. Lately, we haven't been picking up a lot of Limited Run games because we just want to pick up what we want, right? You know, I wanted this really badly. So the Shadowrun trilogy, these are newer games that are, I think they originally came out like on the iPad or something like that, but basically they're old school computer RPGs, like top down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're very dialogue driven. The combat is turn based. fantastic games, like cyberpunk kind of games.
Right on.
And to get a physical version of it again, and all 3 games was really cool. So I was happy to get this. And,
right on.
And I love these games because there's a lot of humor to them, really deep characters. The stories are really interesting. Like the first game, it starts off with a murder you're trying to solve. So yeah, this is cool.
Right on, man. All right, next game here had a name change. And I thought it was game more of a Castlevania type, more of the old school Castlevania, but you could call it maybe a Metroidvania. I don't really know. You guys will decide in the comments. But this is Gal Guardians, also known, used to be known as Grim Guardians, I believe. So Metroidvania, Castlevania type game, 2D sprites, of course, made by Indie Crates, which is a studio I follow a lot. They made like the Azure Striker Gunvolt games.
Oh, okay.
And a couple of other of my favorites as well. But I had to pick that up, man, because physical release for these type of games, I just feel like it's a must-to-have. And the game's actually a lot of fun. You get to switch between 2 characters, and the one has a gun, one has like more melee attacks, and the girl with the gun, she get to reload her guns and stuff like that. So it kind of,
This is from the Galgun series. That's what they're saying.
Is that what they're saying? Oh, so this is a spin-off of the Galgun
series. The Galgun series.
The shoot 'em up one, right?
Yeah, but it's like it's like they call it kinky or whatever they call it. Right. It's really like PG, but
okay.
Interesting.
Okay, there you go. So and I'm having fun with the game. It's pretty unique, cool boss battles, good music. I'm feeling it. I'm around the 4th area, I would say. It's like the underground area. That's where I last left off at. So I got kind of stuck there, got knocked in the water, and characters got killed. But still, I was having fun with this game. So I would love to know what you guys think about this one in the comments if you played it.
All right, that's cool. All right, guys, we want to give a quick little shout out to the sponsor of this video. I've worked with them in the past, and they are an excellent sponsor, and that is CLZ Games. That's an app. You've heard of it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's basically the app that I use on my phone to look up the prices of things, but also I use it to catalog my entire game collection.
Yeah, and they're really up to date and current, so it's very helpful.
They are, and so basically all you have to do is just basically scan the barcode, and it brings up all these price options. One thing that they added recently that I really like is the ability to sort. So, for instance, if you go into your Switch games, you can sort by the category of game it is. So like you can very quickly go in there and see which are the first-person shooters, which are the platforming games. So if you have a large collection like me, and just looking for like what do I play tonight?
Right.
It's actually pretty cool, and also it's got other options in there, like you can track whether you've completed it or not. So
that's good.
It is really
or how
cool.
much you paid for a game too.
How much you paid, but also like if it's gone up in value or down in value, stuff like that. So it's stuff that collectors like us care about.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and I've been paying for my own subscription for it for several years now. It's only $15 a year, so. Want to give a huge shout out to CLZ Games. Check it out on the Android store and also the App Store, the Apple App Store. So I want to thank them for sponsoring this.
Right on. Next up here is a game I talked about on my channel.
Dude,
this one's strictly limited.
I want this.
This is Drainus.
You talked about this on Happy Console Gamers channel.
I did, man. And I was trying to pump up to get the game, and he did.
Yeah, he did. I know. Man. Yeah, because he did a follow-up video. He's like, okay, I bought it, and yeah, Reggie was right.
That game it just sucked me in, and I'm so happy I got the collector's edition because they were actually sold out of the regular edition, which I was going to get.
Yeah, I've been looking for it. Actually.
Yeah, I went all out and got that and everything. So
where did you get this?
Strictly Limited.
Oh, of course. Okay. Yeah. God, okay, I'm not surprised. Huh. Wow. I want to get this.
That's your copy.
What?
Yeah,
really?
Of course, dude.
Dude, seriously?
Yeah.
You already have a copy, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good to go, man. That's your copy.
Oh, dude. Well, I'm glad I didn't find a copy then. Yeah. It's funny because I saw that video. I was like, oh man, I want to get that game.
Dude, it's rare for me to get pumped up to like do a review on a game, but that game I had to, man, because it was so it really pulled me in. It definitely made it to one of my top 5 shooters of all time, and I know people like look at me like I'm crazy, but yeah, it did. It just the detail they put into this game, the story they put into. I know you guys don't care about story usually when shooting up games. I do.
Yeah.
But I just think it's just a really fun game to learn, and it's really rewarding, I would say. So definitely, I would say try this one out if you get a chance.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah. All right. Okay. Next up, I'm going to stay with kind of new stuff here. This is a game I did not play, but I watched somebody play it. So that is Hogwarts Legacy. I got it for the Xbox Series X, and the reason why I haven't played it is because I watched my wife
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go!
Yes. Yeah.
Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go!
Yeah. Finish.
Knockout!
Finish.
Wife play about 80 hours of this game.
Yeah.
She
You
basically
wouldn't
insisted. She's a huge Harry Potter fan. Read the books, watched the movies. She's been to Harry Potter World in Florida, whatever. And I gotta say, this is an excellent RPG. It looks beautiful. It's massive. There's tons of stuff to do in this game. It's basically just kind of like an open world RPG where you get to play in that Harry Potter world.
Well, they got the world down to a T, like how the world is. I mean, like there's places you see in the movies you could go to pretty
Yes.
much, and they're just exactly.
And it's cool too because it's I believe it's 100 years before the books and the movies. And so what's cool is that it's kind of in its own little world, its own little time period, but also you meet up with people who are the ancestors of the characters from the movies and the books. And so it's pretty. So even though it's you know you're not going to run into Harry Potter, but you do run into characters that will eventually affect that world.
Right.
It's pretty cool, and just watching her play it, the amount of detail in this game is.
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go!
Yes.
Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go!
Yes.
Round 4. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 5. Ready, go! Knockout!
Is I'm shocked it's the developer's first game because it's like we're talking like Skyrim level of detail in this game. It's amazing.
I believe their first game, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's like
they knocked it out of the
impressive.
park. Yeah. So, anyways, Hogwarts Legacy. Rebecca was like, "You have to talk about this game."
There you go.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Right on. Next up is lots of shooters in this video. So hope you guys are happy. This is Bullet Soul Infinite, the collector's edition for Switch. I got lucky and got this because I totally forgot about that version. My buddy Kyle hooked me up with that copy of it, and I always wanted to get it on the 360, but the prices went up so high, I kind of forgot
Bullet
about it.
Bullet Soul. Is it a Japanese only release on 360 or?
It is. It
okay.
is. But you can play it like on your. It's not region locked, thankfully. So
yeah.
Pretty cool. But yeah, it's pretty much 2 games in one. There's the first Bullet Soul and then Bullet Soul Infinite. I think the second one's called. But it's like more like an updated version, I would say. But still, it's very cool to have this, and it comes with a soundtrack and everything. So a very good shooter, I would say. It's very like. It seems like you're very overpowered in this game because your bullets, your lasers go all over the screen pretty much. So like enemies that come on the screen, they get torn apart. I got to the 3rd level without really like getting killed, but I think I was playing on default. I didn't play on easy, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. So definitely, if you're in the shooting ones, I would say you might want to pick this one up.
Okay, that's cool. Next up for me, 2 kind of like early prototypey sort of things in here. I just kind of lumped these 2 games together. It's a brand new Atari cartridge. So Atari, for the publisher for the first time, is putting out an Atari game.
These covers matter.
Yeah,
cool.
So it's my understanding that Mr. Run and Jump is. You can get it on Steam, you can get it on Xbox or PlayStation. That is the full version of it, the full graphics. And then what they did is they made it kind of for the Atari because the Atari is so much simpler. But it's essentially a run and jump kind of, what do they call those games where you're trying to do it the fastest possible? Like a speed run game.
Yes, like that game Celeste or whatever like that.
Yeah, it actually plays similar to
Meat Boy or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just action games, I would say.
Yeah, just basically platforming, trying to survive, get to the end of the level. And I got to tell you, this game is tough. Like, it's like old school tough. And what's brutal about it is that if you fail, it takes you all the way back to the beginning of the level.
Oh my god, dude! When that happens nowadays,
it's hard. It's tough. I know it's really annoying, and I did play. You guys are going to be able to see the footage here, where I just kept over and over and over trying to do it. It was because the timing of the jump was brutal.
Yeah.
But it's cool that Atari is making a new cartridge for that. People are excited for it.
Yeah, very cool.
And then I was sent a prototype for a new Game Boy game called Kudzu, Kudzu, is that right?
Yeah.
Which I guess is basically a type of plant. So it's a real plant. It's I believe it's Japanese or something. It's like a vine that takes over.
I love the cover, even though it's like a prototype.
Yeah. So they sent me a prototype to kind of check it out, but I want to mention it. I believe they're kickstarting this. It is very much kind of like an Earthbound sort of game where it's like it's a adventure RPG. It's got a lot of humor to it. I played it for a couple hours. It seems pretty interesting. So people are looking for new physical Game Boy games, kind of if you like Earthbound, that sort of stuff, check it out.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah, and it says prototype, so I was like, I'm keeping that.
Yeah, dude. Okay.
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 3. Ready, go!
Next up here, our good friends at Bitmap Bureau won
Oh,
Xenocrisis for the N64.
dude, these guys have done this game on every platform. Almost, I mean, I don't know what's left at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's amazing.
And the Japanese version, so it's pretty cool for N64.
So
They're putting it all out there. They just announced the Super Nintendo one.
I know. I mean, well, it is interesting how I'm surprised more companies don't do this. I mean, I don't know what it is about this game, but people are so passionate about it that they want to get it on every system, whether it's a Dreamcast or Neo Geo.
It's just a throwback because the game gets right to it. I mean, obviously it's an arcadey type game. It reminds you of Smash TV and games like that. So for a game like this to come out and as well done as it is, it's just, I don't know, it's just so amazing and everything. So
I think I told you this, that at some point I do want to do a video just about all the versions because it's so, I don't think there's any game quite like it. Here's 2 more.
Yeah, there you go.
These are the ones I was probably missing, so now I can actually do that.
Right on, man.
That's hilarious. All right. And the Japanese.
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 4. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 5. Ready, go! Knockout. Zaku が二度と面見せんじゃねえ。
version. That's cool. All right. Next up for me, speaking of shooters, this is one I did not open because I don't need to, because I play this game so damn much already. But again, limited run. This is another time when limited run did a release. I was like, I must own that.
Well, you've been talking about that game to me for years. Well, it was on the PS3.
I think you mentioned about top 10, top 5 shooters. This is up there for me. I mean, it's definitely in my top 10. It's got to be in my top 5.
You know what? It reminds me of Gunbird a lot.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. So
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go! Knockout!
I played it a ton, and I was just so happy to get a physical version because I never thought it'd happen because the game's been out for a while.
Right.
You know? So, yeah, I was very... Oh, you have it too?
Yeah, I did too, yes. I set aside.
So you played it then?
Oh, yeah, I played it. And you know, they just announced the PS4 version, which I would have preferred it on that system. But
I was tempted to buy it again, but I was also like, do I really need to do that?
Well, unless it has like online capabilities, then it's probably not really worth it on PS4.
That's true.
It is a 4-player game, just to let people know, co-op.
Yeah.
If they get that game online, though, oh.
Yeah, that's
excellent.
Cool. So, yeah, I was happy to pick up a copy of that.
Cool. Okay, next we have Grim Grimoire Once More. Collector's edition,
which is this is a remake or a remaster of the PS2 version.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and I remember playing that game back in the day, and I bought it because I love Vanilla Ware's art, how they do their art.
Their art's great.
And it took me a while to get used to the gameplay, but the story is what kept me compelled to.
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout.
Play it, and I got to that game. This game is so deep. Like the story starts off all friendly, but it gets pretty dark. I would say I was very shocked. So a lot of people were surprised when they played this game. And once I saw that, that's the Japanese cover right there on the back, which looks better than the American one. So once I saw that, I said I had to get it. And playing it again just is so nostalgic, man. I'm having a great time with it. So, and it's good that a lot of people that didn't get to play the PS2 version originally will get to play this one now. You know, because I feel like the game is more popular now.
I think so too. Yeah, you're right. Because I don't think it sold very well when it came out.
It came out like I think a month before Odin Sphere did too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This game definitely got overlooked. I think so. Yeah.
Okay, well, next up, a newer game that came out that I had to pick up. Disney Illusion Island. So this game is extremely good.
Yeah?
I sat down and played this for hours and hours when I first played
Really, I was kind of biased against it because the art, I wanted to do the old school art style, but you know, if you're saying it pulls you in, then I'm not interested.
Dude, the gameplay in this I think is excellent. So it's basically a 2D Metroidvania style game. I mean, in the truest sense, like where you can't get somewhere until you unlock, you know, an ability or whatever. And you mentioned the art style. So originally the art style does have that kind of flash animation style to it, but as you play it, you realize, no, it's better than that, actually. And the music in this is really, really good.
Oh.
I would love to play a sample in this video, but I would be afraid of getting a copyright claim.
Yeah.
But just trust me on this. I mean, the music is amazing. And also, too, I will say about this game, some people complain it's a little bit easy. In the beginning, it is absolutely. You'll cruise through it. But as you go along, it has a really nice difficulty curve. To where I think that for most people, you'll just have fun. You'll just have fun with it.
And it's 1 to 4 players. So.
It is. And so, yeah, you'll see when you start the game where you have 4 different characters, and you can choose if you want to be Mickey or Minnie or Donald Duck or Goofy. But then other people, I believe, can join in. I haven't tried it, though. But
you convinced me. I think I'm going to pick this one up.
Oh, dude, I would pick it up. Okay, I would definitely pick it up. It's highly recommended.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to be this one's going to be kind of strange because I've actually talked about it on your channel before. But this is a Snow Brothers collector's edition.
Okay.
I finally got this from Retrobit, and I had the regular edition before. I brought on the channel before, but I just wanted to show this one off because I thought it was pretty cool. Now I didn't open it because obviously the Snow Brothers, they look kind of like they look like they need to stay in there. I don't want to take them out the bottom. They look pretty crazy.
Well, they're made of snow. They might get a little bit too warm and melt. So, that makes sense.
But yeah, it's just something really cool that I like, because I really like those games. So pretty much happy to have that. So I just want to show you guys.
Okay. An upgrade.
An upgrade, yeah.
An upgrade.
So cool.
All right. Next up for me, I'm going to show these here. So, Evercade. The Evercade is the system that keeps on giving.
Yeah, dude. Their recent announcement was pretty awesome.
I know I say this every time, but I mean, I think we were all, when the Evercade first came out, we're like, interesting, cool. Okay, they're trying to bring physical cartridges, fully licensed games, color manuals, but is it going to succeed? And I think yes, it obviously it has. And so they've continued to release these. So these are 4 newer ones.
Yes. Just real quick, I mean, they keep releasing compilations, which will be great, and also their own exclusive games, which is I think that's a good thing too.
And I think these are $20.
Yeah, $20.
$20. And so
manual and everything.
Manual and everything. So here we have the Toplin, as I say that, Arcade 2. Some classics in here. So like Twin Cobra, Hellfire, Twin Hawk, Fire Shark. These are all amazing.
Very cool.
Team 17, which I actually think is probably my favorite of these right here.
This is PC type games right here, right?
Yes, okay. Or the Amiga. So
Amiga, okay.
Which was the system that they really preferred.
Alien Breed, yep.
Alien Breed is really good on here. Also, a 2D platforming game called Quack or whatever.
Which is this guy right here, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's a duck. Dude, that's a really fun game.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's really fun. Really well done. So
okay.
Then they also have the Pico Collection Volume 3. Which is always really interesting. So they got a physical version of 40 Winks on here. So that's a PlayStation 1 version.
A Radical Bikers, which I talked about on your channel before, the Game Boy Color version.
Yes, I saw that on there, and I was like, oh, okay, this looks familiar. So again, just a really what's the other one? Super Bubble Pop is a 3D version of Super Bubble or Bubble Bobble.
Really?
Yeah. So it's kind of got it's its own thing, but it's like 3D. It's really cool, actually. Okay. I was enjoying that a lot. And then they have the second collection of the Commodore 64, which is my computer as a kid. And so there's some classic games on here.
California games, yes.
Winter games on here. They've also got, what else we got here? Fire Lord on here. Yeah, just a bunch of classic Commodore 64 games.
They continue to put a smile on our faces. These releases.
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go! Knockout!
Now は私の勝ちね。
Round 1. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go! Excellent! Round 3. Ready, go! Ring out! この強さが怖い。
Man.
And it's amazing how this one device, or actually they have two devices, they have the console and they have the handheld, will run computer games, console games, arcade games, and they'll just mix them up. It's really cool.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of the Metal Gear Solid series, and they released. Oh, I talked about this one on your channel before. I had the Vita version, but now, thanks to Video Games New York Soft, I have the PS4 version and the Switch version of Unmetal. Which is you could tell it's a spoof of the Metal Gear Solid games. It's so funny. Oh yeah. And the gameplay is the same, but you have a narrator kind of like telling about what happened in the past, and you're like going through it. And it's so freaking funny. I love.
So this is for the Switch and the PS4. Okay.
Yeah, Switch and PS4. But it originally was on the Vita, as a physical. But thank goodness it came out on these systems because it's more modern, I would say. But definitely happy to have these. Man, this is a lot of fun. You're seeing the gameplay here, so definitely that sneak action and espionage and all that good stuff. So very cool.
It's funny you mentioned that. So we don't plan these.
One thing I do want to say though, people are trying to get that game off eBay, but it's available at the Video Games New York Soft website. So don't go to eBay first because you're gonna pay more. I mean, they have like a bunch in stock at their stores. So if you want that copy of the game,
it's funny you mentioned that because I knew I wanted it too. So this is the Vita version here. This is East Asia Soft released this.
Right.
Dude, I played this for the first time to capture this footage.
Yeah.
It is so funny.
It's
hilarious.
It is, dude. It cracked me up, dude.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
It basically... I can't play some of it because some of it's actually kind of adult, which is really hilarious. But yeah, it's absolutely a spoof of Metal Gear.
Well, the scene with the guy in the bathroom was one of the most hilarious scenes.
Yes, when he wants the toilet paper.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, I have no paper. Can you bring me some?
Here you are.
Thanks, man. You saved my ass, literally. What the f***? What sort of paper is this? It's only one ply, unscented, and unpatterned.
It's the kind the prisoners use.
That's why their hands stink so much.
And what's really, this is another thing that's really funny about this game, is that occasionally you'll come, essentially the whole game is a guy looking back on he's trying to tell a story of what happened to him, right? But it's really funny because you'll come up to a point in the story where it'll ask you, like, what happened next in the story? You'll be like, well, I ran into one or two guards or whatever. You'll have a choice.
And you got a choice, yeah.
And you'd think there'd be some sort of like why would you choose two guards?
Yeah.
So I played it twice to see exactly what it. There is, of course, you would choose only one guard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But you could totally screw yourself and not even know it, right?
Yeah, like there was one part where I walked in and there was a guard, and you have a choice whether the guard sees you or is he sleeping.
Yes.
Of course, I told him to be asleep.
Yeah, but he's gonna be asleep. And he was asleep. I was like, yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, and it's funny how it's like they kind of like spook themselves because like they call the main character Jesse Fox. It's kind of obviously like Foxtown. And
yeah, it's hilarious.
It's great.
So I also got a couple other Vita games I just want to show real quick here. Scourge Bringer, which is that's like a roguelike 2D kind of combat platforming game. Really fun game, actually. Enjoyed that quite a bit. And then I picked up Brotherhood United. Have you heard of this? So this is kind of like a indie version of Metal Slug.
Really? Okay.
Dude, and it's fun.
Really?
It's really fun. Yeah. It's nice because it's not as hard as Metal Slug. I mean, Metal Slug's not really that difficult, but this is definitely a little bit kind of dialed down from that.
Okay.
So you can kind of play through it in a couple hours, I would assume. But it's very much like that, where you get in vehicles and you're going and shooting a bunch of dudes. It's really fun. So.
Seeing these games reminds me how like Play Asia helped the Vita stay alive with these releases.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think these are even still for sale on their site. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Maybe.
Yeah. I haven't looked.
The Vita collectors are serious business, man. They buy all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Okay. All right. So next game here is one of the most hilarious games I've ever played. I hope a lot of you know, but I do like FMV type games, and they're done so well these days. But this is an old one that got released that was canned. This is American Hero, and this game was going to come up with the Atari Jaguar back in the day, and
a full motion game on the Atari Jaguar, or CD probably.
Yeah, CD part. Yeah, of course, yeah. But of course, it didn't do well, so the game got canned. But it got leaked on the internet a couple years back, and they started to kind of put the game back together. And they even brought the main actor back to kind of voice some of the parts in the game to kind of help its new release. But the game's hilarious. The the story's all over the place, so I'm not going to go into it, but the choices you can make in this game are great, man. I mean, seriously, like, they'll give you 2 choices. If you don't make the choice in time, you'll get a 3rd choice, which happened to me. And there's a scene where I left the bar and this truck tried to run me down in the alley. It's so crazy and hilarious. It's like over the top fun. It's just like your own action movie pretty much, and you're pretty much like directing how it goes. It's great. So, American Hero.
I've noticed that Limited Run over the years has put out a lot of these. Like somebody at Limited Run loves these cheesy FMV games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is good for us.
Yes, definitely. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Next up for me, I was hoping you would help me with this one. So this is the Valis collection here.
Yes.
And this is by Retrobit.
And pretty much, if you haven't played the Valis games, they are platform games.
Yes. I was bitching to him because I'm like, dude, these games are really hard because I'm trying to capture the footage.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, these games are really hard.
I'm assuming you started with the first game.
Yes.
And, it's pretty tough.
Well, I think it's because the movement of the character, it just seems like I every once in a while I was kind of like jumping, like I wasn't landing my jumps or jumping right. I was following as, you know, the enemies are coming. It's like, oh, so frustrating.
Yeah, keep responding. The 3rd game is really where things kind of balance out at. That's my favorite one
too. Yeah.
But they are old school platform games. They originally came out on the TurboGrafx PC engine. And those versions are really good, but I love how Retrobit did these.
Yes, like, and that's why I have it. Right.
Total awesome re-release of how they did these games. Like, man.
Again, fully licensed, putting out, you know, brand new Genesis cartridges, and I love, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And they have reversible covers, so if you want the original covers like that you have them on Genesis, you have that option as well.
100%. So, yeah, very cool collection here that, you know, is for the hardcore fans and people who are better at platformers than I. Oops.
Here we go. Okay, my next item. Well, here's another gift for you, man. So,
okay.
Our friends at Premium Edition Games have a soundtrack done for them, and the soundtrack was done, I believe, by my buddy Fabricio, and Fabricio put this together, and he wanted to have this. You know,
very cool.
Some tracks. You have the vinyl and the CD, but I know you're gonna open up the vinyl.
Oh yeah, I am actually. Yeah.
So very cool. Have you kept up with the Premium Edition games before, right? Like,
yeah, you know, Premium Edition games is they are always at some of these retro gaming expos. They usually have a table set up, a bunch of really cool stuff there. They do some amazing special editions of games, stuff I've never heard of sometimes, and there's really cool stuff. So this is awesome.
And they're usually known for Switch games, but now they're doing PS4 games and PS5 games, which is really cool. So they're expanding.
Okay, that's a cool cover. Thank you. Yeah. All right, next up for me is something completely different here. For the Xbox 360 is a game called Nailed.
I heard of this game before.
Yeah, it's a game that didn't probably sell very well. It came out during the 360 and I think it probably got lost. However, it is a really fun arcade racing game.
Really?
Completely over the top. There's no logic or physics to this whatsoever.
It's just arcade fun.
Arcade fun. It's by Techland, which
means... they made the Dead Island game, I believe.
And Dying Light, I think, is
Dying Light as well.
Yeah. So this is made by a developer who knows their stuff, and for whatever reason, this game just never caught on. It's super cheap. Like, it's one of those games where you can usually pick up. Yeah, and it's fun.
It's only available on 360?
I believe it's also on the PS3.
Okay.
And I played actually on my Steam Deck, so you can get on Steam, again, usually on sale for super cheap. So just a completely over-the-top arcade racing game. Massive jumps. Like, you just fly through the air. You know, big combos, things like that. So, good stuff. All right, next up for me is something a little bit different. I want to ask you, like, growing up, did you have like an old like gateway computer or like compact Rosario or something like that?
Yeah, so we had an IBM computer. It was a weird computer because it had the hard drive on the bottom, but the computer screen kind of looked up at you, which you had like an angle of. I got it back in like 1990. I was like I forget how old I was. Yeah, it was a weird looking computer, but it played games on it. So the best games I could play on there was stuff like maybe Stellar 7, Firehawk, Oil's Well.
Oh, okay.
I didn't play any high end games on it like that, but I did play like games like I think that game's called D on the PC where the guy wakes up and there's there's an alien in his head. What was that game called? I played that game on it.
Well, the reason why I'm asking this is so you do have experience kind of like owning computers, and you know how like especially PCs back in the day, they would have like a little sticker on it that would say like Intel inside, or or later on during the 90s it would be like you better be Y2K compliant or whatever, So the reason I mention that is that a guy sells these. These are old school stickers that you can put on new computers to make them look old.
Wow.
Check this out, dude. So he's got like a Cyberdyne sticker that you could put on, like, and again,
Umbrella, nice.
The Umbrella Corporation, but he's also got like the retro inside. Remember when they would come with like 3DFX Voodoo like stickers or Sound Blaster?
Sound Blaster is the one. That's probably the one that sticks out the most.
You probably did. So I thought these were pretty cool. Like I could see me putting on this on my my Mac or something like that.
Definitely, man.
And they're super cheap. He sells them on his website. I thought these were pretty neat, and they're definitely kind of
America Online.
Yeah. Remember when it comes with like an America Online?
500 hours included.
Well, these are the ones that cracked me up, because I remember seeing like Best Buy, when you would buy a computer, it would tell you to remember to turn your computer off at midnight. Just in case of Y2K. Wow. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that is funny, dude. Wow.
So anyways, he just sent this to me. I thought these were super cool. I guess he's got like a 20% off if people want to use it. Mm-hmm. We don't get paid for it or anything like that, but I thought they were super cool, so definitely check it out. Yeah, I'm going to be putting those on my computers.
Next here is a pretty unique one. So in order to play these games, to let everybody know, if you decide to pick these up, you have to have a modded PS1 to play these. But a buddy at Project Retro Games made a physical release of Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil 1.5. He made them in a long box. Now these games are available for free to play, but obviously he wanted the physical, so he made it physical. And
that looks really good.
This Resident Evil 0 is this demake pretty much.
Yeah.
This shows how Resident Evil 0 would have looked if it was on that platform, which is insane. So very fun. I think a lot of people will like this. And of course,
this is the one that starts off with the training, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because when you go to the park, one of the most amazing scenes on the trains when you're on top of it when it's raining.
Yeah.
That scene in this game is like a still.
Oh,
so it's funny because they couldn't, obviously.
Yeah, the PS1 couldn't do it.
Yeah, but it's just really cool how they put this game together, and it's just, I don't know, man. For me, PlayStation 1 system is one of my favorite systems of all time. So getting something like this now is amazing. So the modders did a really good job putting this together. I'm really happy. And then, of course, Resident Evil 1.5, which I talked about before. Very cool. So yeah.
You get the craziest stuff, dude. All right, next up for me is a game that was released by Super Rare. It's called Wavetale.
Dude,
So this game surprised me. Mm-hmm. This game surprised me. So it's a 3D adventure platforming game. So, and the whole premise is that you are this girl, and for whatever reason, she looks down in the water. It's like a water kind of world, and she sees her reflection come up. And so when she touches her foot down, the shadow comes up and supports her, and so she can suddenly walk on water or glide on water. And so a big part of this game is kind of gliding around on waves and water, going from little island to little island, solving quests, battling some of the enemies out there, talking to NPCs and stuff like that. Really high quality game. Completely surprised me. It's cool it got a physical release, because this is an example of a game that maybe a lot of people pass by or whatever, and could be lost.
Super Rare is really good at like picking up games that probably people would like pass over as digital.
I have to say, and that Super Rare does a really good job most of the time picking games that I think are worth. Getting physical. 100%. So this is one that I played, loved it. So really fun.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, been wanting to talk about this game for a while. This is.
Der Vortrag hat mir einfach super gefallen. Guck mal, da ist ein Hund. Ah, da ist noch ein Hund.
200?
3 Kaffee bitte.
3 Kaffee gern. Sehr gern. PlayStation ou PC?
Trinity Trigger. Oh, I heard of PS4. So I picked this game up immediately because it
Well, ladies and gentlemen, wouldn't you know it? Just ahead of Newswave going up, this was late last night, early this morning, we had an image get out there online that started to make the rounds pretty quickly because it appears to show our first look at that PlayStation 5 Slim or the PlayStation 5 revision. We still have to see how much smaller it is, I guess, than the current PlayStation 5. But there's been a lot of discussion around this system with the detachable disk drive and some other discussion about how the system actually looks kind of weird. Well, after seeing this image, I tend to agree with them, but we're going to go over that here today, as well as some interesting implications that could follow with this device. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton, and if new here to the Spawnwave channel, make sure you subscribe down below. Well, let's go right to the image. We can see it here, and this is funny because I feel like we've mentioned this many times. We've seen this also play out many times, and that is when a device is in manufacturing, it tends to have different leaks out of forums that would be at least have some knowledge about these things. And in this case, it appears to have come from a Chinese forum, A9VG, or that's kind of the mark that's on the bottom of the image. And I was looking around, and it does appear to have come out of a forum in China.